Hello, this is Seglen and Edouard from ENI.
Good morning, everyone.
I hope you can hear us well. We're just putting the cameras on for the beginning and then we'll put them off, but just to say a quick hello. If you have any questions already, please you can write them in the chat, and we'll be glad to answer them. Don't hesitate.
We answer all the questions at the end of the webinar, so feel free to type them in and we'll take a look at the end.
Today we're going to talk about the following topic. As you know, it's about mapping out your contributors' digital proficiency. I'm Ségolène Valenceau, International Sales Manager at ENI regarding digital learning products, and I'm together with Edouard.
Hello, I'm Sales Manager as well at ENI, more specifically, sorry, for the IT range for all the people who need to train on technical IT subjects.
So I'll just put off the camera, and we're still here. You can still hear us, as I said, and yeah, let's continue with the different topics we're going to tackle today. There you go. So Edouard, would you like to present us briefly the company for those who don't know us already?
Sure. Let's take a look briefly at who is ENI and what we do and how we came to developing the test that we'll be talking about today. Well, ENI is a company that has been existing since 1981. We started and still continue as a company to train young professionals at a higher education institution, where we actually train young people to become IT professionals, either in development or in networks or cybersecurity, different topics where young people will be trained to become professional in this field. After that, we moved on to become also a company which will do training for professionals who actually need to upskills or reskill. This training are rather short, 1 or 2 weeks, where the higher education can last 1, 2, or 3 years with a degree at the end. This is the second part of our knowledge, and the last one will be then we are a company which we also a publisher. We started this side of our company in 1995 with the creation of books covering all IT subjects, whether it will be MS Office to development through cloud or databases. And we've moved on also to become a video creator and also online courses. All these contents are being produced internally. We work with about 500 experts who will help us design and produce the contents that we'll be publishing. We have in-house a team of about 35 people who will help them, support them, review all the contents before they are being launched and available to the public. We produce our content in up to 5 languages. That will be French, English, German, Dutch, and Spanish on some of the contents. All this being made internally, as I mentioned, with well, obviously a very demanding quality process to make sure that all the content that we release are up to date and have the best quality for people to be able to train on later on. I will now give you also a bit information of how many people actually are in the company. We are about 240 people. We are also working very closely with the majors, editor and publisher of softwares to be able to produce the right contents. And we launch about 20,000 online courses every month on different topics, whether ourselves or also our partners or customers who are then relying on our infrastructure and contents to train their employees, to train their students. and to develop their skills. So that will be all for the company itself. Now I will let Ségolène present today's agenda to see where we're going.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about what's happening right now in the different countries worldwide, the digital transformation, that is. We're going to tell you some more about the assessment that we created. This assessment, the idea is that it leads you to some ideas for trainings. And so the third point, the third topic we want to tackle is how you may want to go further after doing this assessment with some e-learning content, right? We have found this quote. It's the European Commissioner for Digital Agenda, who says that 90% of jobs will need digital skills by 2020, and it continues 2021, of course. So there are some parallels we can make between the health crisis and our habits for assessment and training today, right? The global pandemic we are still experiencing has brought new issues, and the situation changes every day, which is similar actually to today's learning, right? Class training is no longer possible, so we need to adapt, and it has become even more necessarily to offer remote training, right, Edouard? So can you give us maybe some numbers?
Yes, definitely, because obviously digital transformation has been one of the hottest topics in the last years, and as you mentioned, the pandemic and the situation that we've been living for about a year now, well, has even more put this on the agenda of every company. And research has found some interesting figures regarding the fact that, well, 97% of companies believe that a business is resilient, and 90% of them believe also that in the future the expectation of customers will actually increase. And most businesses believe that technology will help them tackle these future challenges, and that, of course, at every level of your company, people need to be skilled and trained and be able to address the new challenges through technologies with the new tools, whether to communicate, whether to work with multiple partners or customers or employees. So this is a very important thing. And of course, before we actually even start a project, what should we take into consideration, Ségolène?
Yeah, so the idea is that even before undergoing a digital transformation in your company, in your institution, there are many things to take into consideration. You will need some data, some analysis, right? As you can see here in the picture, the idea is to say, okay, to know where we're going, it's best to know where we're starting from. So situating the employees within the company in order to know what to do next. And Edouard, what questions should trainers and more generally people who are responsible within companies or institutions and tackling with learning, what should they take into account when addressing their co-workers?
Well, the first thing that is important for you to address is how to assess efficiently. Definitely the quality of the data and what you will be able to get from an assessment will be at the core of your questions. Second is, of course, what will I do with this data? Because the objective of this assessment is, of course, to help you to train, well, know where you are, but also how to bring and train your peoples to the next level so that you actually have a successful digital transformation. This is actually your goal. So now let's take a look more in depth and more precisely where does the ENI assessment can take you there. We've developed the digital test to help you target your needs concerning the digital transformation. It's a test that would last about 30 to 45 minutes. It's an adaptive test. Therefore, it's even more relevant because it will adapt to the level of the users as they go through the test. It is based on two frame of references, the main one being the DISCOMP, which is the digital frame of reference that was developed by the European Union. So we based on that. It's also a tool that will be available for you to promote across your different country base, whether in English or in French or in German or in Dutch or in Spanish. And the idea was really to focus also on the topics when we designed the test that are relating to the working environments, which are independent of the contributor's profession. The idea that you can push this test to every of your employee to be able to fit the needs. It's off-the-shelf test that will allow you to basically assess anyone in the company.
And so it's very simple to access, right? You only need an internet connection. It's a test that, yeah, well, you know, there are a number of questions, as Edouard said. Depending on the answers you give, you'll get between 44 and 116 questions, and it tackles different topics.
What are the different topics exactly? Maybe can you precise that?
Yeah, sure. So there are two main topics, right? The new users for digital technology and the use of the workstation. So in the first topic, the idea is to look at messaging, communications, collaborative work, which is very actual nowadays, right? Mobility also, monitoring and web reputation, social media, high tech. Already with these elements, you can see that these questions relate to a lot of employees in different departments, right? It's not only about commercials or only about accounting people or marketing, or, you know, it tackles different departments. And the second main topic is the use of the workstation with office software, Windows and file management, workstation security, which is very accurate nowadays, internet and other workstation applications.
What about more specific subjects such as artificial intelligence?
Yeah, there are many questions in this test, and the idea is that you will get such questions in high tech, for instance. So it's very interesting to see that your knowledge as an employee is sometimes much more than you would expect, or less, and then you should train in this or in this topic, right? So the idea with the test is that it will help to assess, to analyze the skills of the employees, summarize those results. We'll show you afterwards very concretely what it would look like, and to guide the contributors, the people who answered the test towards skill improvement. And the idea is to adapt to each individual and make them engage into the digital transformation of the company or of the institution. So Edouard, what does it look like? How do you get to the results?
Well, the importance of the test is that you can actually get an analysis of the strengths and also of the area that needs to be improved. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you will be able to view this whether it's for an individual or it's for a group. You can, for example, maybe focus on the sales department or on a production department, and you will be able to compare the people on an individual point of view as well as per group. you will be able to get a score out of 100, which will give you a global focus per user, and then you will be able to see the strengths of every user per topic. The score out of 100 is weighted according to the questions, and will be compared as well to the number of questions per team that the users have been correctly answered. And second, please tell me what are the goals there for the users and for the administrators?
Yeah, so a score will be calculated for each theme and key topic. It will determine the global score of, we name it, digital proficiency, right? This is how the different levels are set. So it goes, you know, from 0 to 25, that's low, and then it goes to basic, intermediate, and good to very good, 70 to 100. The idea is very much to have this global level, global image of the employees of the company.
And how do you identify who knows what?
Yeah, so the score obtained in the two themes will make it possible to determine the person's digital profile and to establish a comment that can be viewed on the individual results sheet. It's about mapping out the contributors, the employees' levels, and picturing the overall available skills. So Edouard, please help me. What do we do then with those profiles?
Well, the test will give you some very interesting data by presenting the profile of each employee who has passed the test. And digital transformation is really a transformation that will embark all the company. Some people will be rather following the trend or being passive. Some others will actually be champions, helping the others to move forward. And it's important for you to be able to know who will be rather reluctant on this move, or the other way around, the people who can help you embark the company throughout this journey. So the test will be able to give you different profiles, and for you it will be a good sign to know precisely who can help you or who will be reluctant, and therefore bring the company forward.
Mm-hmm. And what do you get from all this?
Well, you get from all this a very interesting comparison. You will be able to identify the individual users and compare them every time with the average, and understand for every topics, and also for 4 major abilities. And this will give you a very clear picture of where does every individual stand, and therefore as well brings you some ideas regarding training, of course. And second, tell me how it will help you actually, how it will help companies to prepare the projects in terms of digital transformation.
Yeah, so as we were saying, the idea is to do this test to assess per department or per branch or even per geographical site according to your needs. Somebody working in the sales department will not have necessarily the same strengths and weaknesses as somebody working in the accounting department, right? So generally speaking, Edouard, this very complete analysis helps companies to set up training programs, right?
Yes, definitely, because as we mentioned, it's a tool to measure the efficiency. And the idea is that you have the opportunity to assess your training project both upstream and downstream. You can have the user pass the test before they get trained and after they get trained, and you will be able to have a comparison on the same user base to know the products. The idea is to have a clear visibility of each person's progress. And also what we've seen in the past with companies who have already implemented the test is that it makes a change in the learner's mind, because it will bring some kind of learner culture for people to regularly update the knowledge, update the skills, regarding where they have seen that there are some topics to be improved.
So they commit in a learner culture, right?
Exactly, definitely. The idea is that you will get a preparatory analysis that will be able to adapt to each company's vision, will help you see which are the users, which are the departments that you need to focus on. As we mentioned, it's an off-the-shelf product that is meant and designed to be able to fit every company, every industry, and every need, with a simple recommendation for you to be well, an actor of the digital transformation, and to be able to have a clear view of what you need, and depending on your goals, what you need to implement to achieve those goals. And maybe Ségolène, actually, can you help mention a few projects that have already taken place in the past and what they brought to light in terms of usage?
Yeah, sure. So we've taken 3 different examples here. One in Spain with Grupo Red Eléctrica, one in France with AFPA, and one in German-speaking countries with Schneider Electric. What I can really say is that for AFPA, the funny thing, or the nice thing, was that they liked the test so much that they adapted it and they gave it their own name, right? They called it the Diag. Regarding Schneider, it's also an interesting example because they bought about like 4,000 tests and let different employees pass it in different languages. So employees had the possibility to do the test in French, in English, or in German. And they did it in different geographical zones, areas in Austria and Switzerland and in Germany. So this also led to different conclusions. Yeah, it was very interesting for them afterwards to think in terms of, okay, what training do we need to implement? Okay, we have it right now, the test, they did it actually, they proposed it in their LMS platform, in their general course platform. It's called LMS platform. And in this platform, the employees had then afterwards, after they passed the test, the possibility, for instance, to get hold onto office courses or social media courses or else. So now, Edouard, can you please help us by letting us know which types of trainings you can actually set in place with ENI after such an analysis is done, such as the one we did with Schneider, for instance, or AFPA?
Yes, definitely, because as we mentioned earlier, the assessment is only the first step of your journey, of your training journey. This will give you an idea of what then needs to be implemented to push the goals and to upskill your employees. So the 2 other steps that you can suggest to you after assessing will be basically step 2 and step 3, which would be explore a large numbers of training contents, or train on specific subjects that you want to push. You can actually do either or you can actually do both, which means you can put at the disposal of your users a large number of contents for them to be able to browse, to cherry pick whatever they like in terms of contents, or you can really focus and push in terms of your internal training policy some very specific content that you'd like people to train on. That is the possibility that we offer. And of course, the last level would be to go until certifying the users on certain subjects for them to be able to, well, officialize, so to speak, their level and the fact that they have trained and perform well in terms of on specific topics that you have that they have trained on.
Right. So today we were talking about the assessment projects. which is the digital test. And as was saying, there are other possibilities, other approaches, as Edward said, with explore and train. Training is with Media Plus to do the exercises within the software in the real environment. Those are also available in 5 languages, and yeah, so across all of our solutions we can provide a comprehensive environment for skill improvement. That's yeah, what we wanted to to tackle and just to remind you, to tell you about the important things we've been talking about today. I'll just start with the first point maybe. So the idea is that the digital test restores your site, helps you discover new talents for your project within your company or your institution. What else, Edward, can we say?
Well, definitely the idea that it will help you to put in place a custom training plan depending on the needs that you have been able to see with the results. As we mentioned, it will create a commitment of your employee in a learner culture with the ability to have access to lots of content to train. And it will also create some momentum within your team as everybody will go through the tests. Everybody will have the ability to train then, depending on their weakness. And this is something people will actually talk about. We've seen it in the past on different customers, that it creates really a momentum for people to train on, and brings really this efficiency up high.
Mm-hmm. So it's a helpful decision-making tool. What I wanted to add is, please don't hesitate to ask for testing the test for free test accounts, which we can create for you. And also right now, do you have any questions for us maybe in the chat? Can you see some maybe, Edouard?
Yes, let me look at it. How long does the test last, Sigolène?
Yeah, so as we said, it's an adaptive test. It can last from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the time you spend. And also, of course, since it's adaptive, depending on if the question is right, then the system will give you another question in the same direction. If your answer was not right, then it will cut off and go in another direction. So yeah, it can be, but it's about half an hour, let's say.
Another question is, do we need to install any software for the tests?
No, definitely not. It's available just with an internet connection.
Is it possible to have the solution available in SCORM format for an LMS, I presume?
Yeah, so that's the example I was giving with Schneider. It's definitely possible, and yeah, it's very straightforward. And maybe, yeah, last question about the languages.
The languages, yes.
Yeah.
The test will be available in 5 languages. French, English, German, Spanish, and Dutch.
So yeah, if you have any other questions, please feel free to send us an email. We're glad to answer those questions, and also, as I said, create some demo accounts. And thank you so much for attending today, for your time.
Thank you for being there to us.
And yeah, have a nice and sunny day.